These are the main, requirement when we go for road transport. As I told you, like, in a country we have these national highways, we have the state highways, we have the district roads, village roads, and unclassified village roads. Like national highways are basically, they are the ones which connect to the states as well as the union capitals. Then we have the that's the national highways. Then we have the state highways. The state highways basically connect with the state capital with the district headquarters. Okay, and district roads are the one which connect each district of the particular state. Village roads, they usually connect villages and act as a basic infrastructure in the rural areas. But beside them, there are also village roads which are not yet classified. So they are known as the unclassified village roads. So these earthen roads, basically, they are they are all muddy roads, you can see, So this earthen roads normally tracks in rural areas. Yesterday also I have shared with you all, in the year 1951, India's road length was 4 lakhs kilometer. But in 2022, the study showed that it is 63.73 lakhs. So it has really increased. So this shows that the importance and potential of road transportation in India is improving day by day. Now, coming to the Indian rail transport, I'll show you a video, but maybe not now, maybe at around 4 o'clock, or maybe at the end of the session. Okay, so rail transport, India, Indian Railways track covers around 68,000 kilometers, and it has been considered as one of the largest network in the world. And you'd be very surprised to know that every day it carries more than 18 million passengers on average every day. So the domestic tourism, primarily depends on the railways, because there are local trains, there are express trains, there are mail trains, there are goods trains, different types of trains are there. But yes, the domestic tourist usually primarily depends upon the railways for long distance. The reason behind is it's very cost effective and the comfortable travel in a very less span of time. Now, although transportation in Nigeria, like I have just gone through few articles and all, I have observed that Nigeria, although its transportation is Nigeria is mainly dependent on the road networks, but there is also a small percentage of distribution that occurs by rail as well as air. The railway system offers freight train operations covering around 280 stations in 19 out of the 36 states in Nigeria. Uh, uh, there are some special tourist trends like Palace on Wheels, which are operated for attracting the foreign tourists. Yesterday only I was discussing with you. It's known as the Golden Triangle of Rajasthan. I mean, it covers three destinations. One is the Delhi, that is the capital city. Then we have the Rajasthan, we have Jaipur, as well as it also covers Agra, that is in Uttar Pradesh, and it's having the Taj Mahal. So these, there are now, India is having like this type of trains, around 5 to 6 types of trains. They are known as Deccan Express, they are known as Palace on Wheels. I'll show you a video on that. And some fastest express trains are also there, like Rajdhani, Shatabdi, Durontos, and the CRS, that is a computer reservation system that helps in planning the journey earlier. That is basically, if you wanted to make any train reservations, you can take the help of CRS, and this CRS basically works on GDS, that is the global distribution system, where they work on there are some platforms which are known as Amadeus. Those are basically the softwares. That is a system. They are known as Galileo. Then we have Amadeus. This works on basically on the computer reservation system. So it is not necessary that you have to go to the railway station, stand in the queue, and make a reservation. You can easily, with the help of the computer and the internet, you can easily make a reservation system. Even Nigeria, when we talk about Nigeria, like many of you all are there from Nigeria, 80% of the current Nigerian railways were originally built by the colonial power, that is the Great Britain. And the railways were built to the 1067 mm Cape gauge, that is the same track gauge that is used in most other British colonies in Africa. So it's still existing there. I'll try to share you the video if it is possible. Yes, can I share the video? Video can be shared. I'll just try to share the video. Okay, it's just a 5 minutes video. One sec.
In time and experiencing grand royalty interests and intrigues you, then these luxury trains of India will exceed your expectations. Hold on to experience some of the best luxury trains of India. Best among all Indian luxury trains, Maharaja's Express is also one of the five most luxurious trains in the world. This half-mile long train takes you on an 8-day journey from Mumbai to Rajasthan, Lucknow and back to Mumbai or Delhi, and boasts of royal hospitality, fully stocked bars, lavish suites, butler services, and it's one of the most expensive trains in India.
Then you have the Deccan Odyssey.
Inspired by the traveling style of the kings and rulers during different royal eras of ancient India, Deccan Odyssey is a five-star hotel on wheels that takes you to some fascinating destinations of India. Royal treatment for passengers, palace-like interiors of the cabins, multi-cuisine restaurants, lounges, a conference car, and an on-board spa, and other state-of-the-art amenities make it one of the most luxurious trains in India and in the world as well. And the journey's duration is for 8 days, starting from Delhi through Agra, Jaipur, Bijapur, Hampi, and Tadoba. The Golden Chariot is one of the best luxury trains in India that takes you to some of the most famous tourist places of South India. Launched in 2008, the Golden Chariot is well known for its impeccable hospitality. The train has AC chambers with royal interiors, bars, restaurants serving multi-variety cuisine, a mini gym, an Ayurveda spa, and other five-star facilities. Embark on this 8-day journey to experience a journey like no other from Bangalore through Kabini to Mysore, Hassan, Hampi, Badami, Goa, and back.
Heritage on Wheels.
One of the oldest luxury trains in India, the Heritage on Wheels showcases the traditions and culture of Rajasthan that have been passed from one generation to another in the best manner possible. With the floors of this train being covered by local restaurant that serves authentic and continental cuisine, the rooms that never fail to reek of royal wines,
Some internet issues, but I just wanted to say, like, you just name it and it is there. Whether it's the authentic continental cuisine, the rooms, the hotels, the bars, restaurants, everything is there, right? there's some. I think there's some issue. No, no problem. I'll just show you the other slides. Okay, just a minute. The entire screen. Na? Is it visible? Is it audible? Yes. Okay.
It is audible and visible.
Okay. Okay. One sec. So anyway, the video stopped in between. There's some issue, technical issues always keeps on cropping up. Anyway, we'll just move ahead. Maybe later on I can just show you the video once again. So what I was telling, since there are so many beautiful trains, I mean those interesting trains like Palace on Wheels and all. So these trains are different destinations they cover. The trains are being designed in such a manner that you get the essence of the hospitality. You get to know what's a five-star hotel. It's not about just staying in a five-star hotel, but you get all the facilities that is being provided in a five-star hotel, whether it's a room, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a spa, whether it's a gym, everything. You just name it and it is there. So now coming to the water transport, the oldest existing mode of transportation, that is the water transport, and it is energy efficient and cost effective mode of transportation. Even today it is a safe mode of transport. And India has the largest merchant shipping fleet among developing countries, and it ranks 19th in the world. Now it is still, it is further divided into three groups. One is the coastal shipping, one is the coastal shipping, another is the inland waterways, and another is the foreign going ships. Like India has around 700. The slide is not coming. Are you able to see the slide? Once again, 1 minute. Okay. So yes, I was talking about the water transport, and India has the largest merchant shipping fleet among developing countries, and its ranks is 19th in the world. Okay, now it is being further. This water transport is being divided into three groups. One is the coastal shipping, another is the inland waterways, and the foreign going ships. Like India has around 7,000 plus kilometers of coastline, and we have these are some union territories, like mainland to Andaman and Lakshadweep Island, Bombay to Goa carry passenger traffics. We have inland waterways, and this mode is still underutilized. And in India, we have four national waterways, and Inland Waterways Authority started in 1986, and the main objective is to develop its potential further. Now going to foreign going ships, we have few major airports as well as few minor ports. Minor ports are basically where like major ports where cargo from different countries. I mean there is to and fro of different cargos. I mean cargos coming from different countries to and fro. Plus there are minor ports also, which is within the country itself. So those are available in India. So shipping industry is growing, but if you see the data and statistics data, it shows that is extremely slow in the growth in India. Now, there are some special tourist launches are also which are operating in India. Like, that's one is at Sundarban, which is known for its Royal Bengal Tigers Reserve. Sundarban, it's a place, it's a reserve which is in a state of India. Then we have this Goa Tourism Department, which organizes sea cruises to attract tourists. Goa is basically a state in India that's in the western part of the country, and it has a coastline stretching along the Arabian Sea. And it is known for its beautiful beaches, and it also has the cultural influence of the Portuguese, who were the first one to voyage to our continent. That was somewhere in the certain that was somewhere in 16th century as merchants. Okay, so that is also there. A lot of cruises are there. People go for, I mean, visit. You have a lot of tourists visiting Goa, especially in the month of December, January, February, and it has beautiful beaches. We have houseboat at Dal Lakes in Kashmir. Kashmir, it is known as the paradise on earth, and the reason is, it is known for its snow-capped mountains, hospitable people, and the local handicrafts. So it also attracts tourists to a large extent, but sometimes some political issues are always there. But still, if you see the tourist arrivals, it is quite fine. Now, some informations I've tried to collect about Africa also. Some of the world's largest and longest rivers are found in Africa. We know that's the river Nile, Congo, Niger. So these rivers are not effective as transportation routes due to the existence of a large amount of rapids and cataracts. Cataracts and rapids are basically formed, when we have this soft rocks and hard rocks. So the it is not smooth, so some amount of you can say all those sedimentation is there. So that is what is the reason the transportation is not that smooth. But yes, there are some well-known popular cruises are there, like the Royal Caribbean International Celebrity Cruises, as well as Azamara Club Cruises. Now, about the air transport, air transport in India was started in the year 1911. It is managed by Air India. We have different airlines that's operating in India, like Air India, SpiceJet, Indigo, Go Air. These are the major airlines corporations. And for the international flights, we have Air India. Plus, we have Indigo. Indigo doesn't have all network, but some international flights are also there. But Air India, we have domestic as well as international. Then we have India. It's one of the largest domestic and overall civil aviation sector, and presently it holds ninth position in the world in the civil aviation market. Thus, we can see that aviation plays an important role in the international travel and transport. We have also IATA, that is the international. We also have that IATA, that is the International Air Transport Association, that supports aviation with global standards for airline safety, security, efficiency, and sustainability. So, and Nigeria, the air transport is one of the modes of passengers and freight transport in Nigeria. So, the large size of the country, coupled with its geographically diverse resources and resource potentials, encourage extensive use of aircraft for speedy, long, and medium distance carriages. What is IATA yesterday, like Kaburi was saying, you can become we have International Air Transport Association. Especially they help with the aviation, the global standards for airline safety, the security, efficiency, and sustainability. Then Government of India permitted private operators to operate in various routes to increase the competition. There are open skies policy that increased the air traffic in India and provided the cheap and best service to the passengers. Though air transport is the latest mode of transport when compared to other mode of transportation, it is the backbone of international tourist graphically. And these are some informations you need to know. The first commercial service was introduced by KLM, that is the Dutch Airlines, that was in the year 1920, and it first flew from Amsterdam and London. Then there were the jet flights, which were inaugurated by Great Britain in the year 1952. And in the year 1958, Pan American introduced the Boeing 707 services between Paris and New York. And due to the introduction of jet flights, the year 1959 onwards saw a tremendous increase in the air traffic. So the concept of chartered flights was also introduced during this year. So we all know that the role of transport, it is an important role to play in the tourism sector, because I mean, whether it's India or whether it's in Africa, whether it's in Nigeria, You have to have transport plays a very important role. In fact, study shows that tourists spend almost 30 to 40% of the total holiday expenditure on transportation, and the remaining on food, accommodation, and other activities. So this aspect once again highlights the importance of transportation. So India's geographical setup gifted it with numerous destinations. To cater the needs of tourists traveling towards such destinations, transportation is very essential. So when domestic tourists use road and rail transport, foreign tourists use air transport for speedy journey from one destination to another. But yes, we have air transport, we have road transport, we have rail transport, and there are also some hilly areas where you have to have road transport plays a very major role because you cannot travel by rail. You have to travel by cars or rope cars. So road and rope cars plays a very vital role in easy movement of the tourists. So, India has well-established surface transport system. It suffer from two shortcomings. There are two shortcomings are there. Like these are the problems, these are the issues that takes place. Road transport being stagnant is unable to play its full role in promotion and growth of tourism. It's still growing, because there are some villages, there are, where the road transport has not reached yet. But here the rail transport, though fairly extensive, is good only few parts of the country. And as we know that international tourists arrives at India by air transport, they depend upon other modes of transport for visiting various destinations. So it is necessary for a tourism professional to think about safe, cost-effective, comfortable, less time-consuming, and environment-friendly transport for developing tourism at destinations. Hope you all can. Is it audible?
Yes, it is
Oh,
audible.
okay, okay, fine. Sometimes I need to check also. Okay. So now thus comes the National Tourist Transport Policy. This is was established in the year 2006, which is known as the National Urban Transportation Policy. It was launched in the year 2006, and it aims at providing better mobility and sustainability by focusing on people mobility and not vehicle mobility. And the basic goal of this national transport policy is focused on the sustainable development of the road and railway infrastructure of national and international importance, improvement of the transport safety, encouragement of maritime and inland waterway navigations, integration of the national transport system. So the committee recommended the coordination of all modes of transport and felt there should be an overriding accent on energy conservation in the national transport policy. For India, it is necessary to plan for a low carbon model of growth in our cities rather than then focusing on the physical infrastructure for vehicle mobility alone. Now coming to this tourist accommodation. Okay, so there are different types of accommodations that are taking place in a. There are different types of accommodations are there. There are five-star deluxe hotels. There are resorts. There are airport hotels. There are transit hotels. So different types of hotels are there available in our country, not only in our country, throughout the globe. Now this varies on the location, depends on there are few characteristics that depends there are few it depends on few characteristics like the type of guest who are visiting those destinations, the duration of the stay of the clientele. So these are the basic you can say characteristics on which the hotel is being located at different reasons for different purposes. Yeah, and they are, so one is like five-star deluxe hotels. They are usually located in the metropolitan city areas or the business class cities, and usually they have more than 200 plus rooms, and they are being designed as per the international standard. With they have a lobby, business center, swimming pool, gym, restaurant, multi-cuisine restaurants. Then they have the bars, pubs, health clubs, you name it, and it is there. So maximum clients are business executives and upscale tourists. Other star categories of hotels are also available, and hotel offer themselves for categorization based on the criteria and inspection by officials. Example, you have a Lagos Continental Hotel, you have Lagos, Taj Palace in Delhi. These are the few hotels, just to name a few. There are chain of hotels, you have there is Radisson, there is Taj, there is Oberoi's, there is Hilton, there is Intercontinental, there is ITC, there is Welcome Group Hotels. All over the not only India but all over the world globally. These are chain group of hotels. So they are usually, as I told, they are located at the major cities and in mid-sized cities. Business executives and tourists are their major clients, and they offer almost all facilities that are provided at five-star category hotels. Then there are some non-star hotels. Such hotels are not classified, and they are mainly found at hill stations and at pilgrimage center. Then you come to resorts and lodges. They are exclusively meant for the tourist in countries where economic dependence on tourism is much more. Such accommodations are found in large numbers. Example, that Nairobi in Kenya. Then India, there's Novotel group of hotels. These are the resorts and lodges. These are resorts are usually found at either near the hill stations or at near the jungles or at beaches. Example, just I gave a few examples. Then you can also find them at near wild. There are also wildlife resorts, and they are very luxuriously designed. Okay, so and example like Green Legacy Resort, Nigeria. As a thriving African country and tourist destination, Nigeria is rich in resorts. 1 minute, huh? One sec. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. ଓହୋ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ଆପଣ ପଠେଇ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ କରିଦେବି ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ନା ମୁଁ ଅଲରେଡ଼ି ଦେଇଦେଇଛି କାଲି ଗୋଟେ ଦେଇଛି I'll just call you back huh? There was a call from Igno, so that was the reason I had to take the call. Okay. So we have tented camps. So tented accommodation is gaining popularity throughout the world, and such accommodation involves low investment, eco-friendly hotels, and usually, when we talk about ecotourism and all, so this type of tented camps are located in the ecotourist destinations of the country. So, and sometimes they are located at remote destinations, and facility depends upon luxury intended to be provided. And mobile rented camps are used. Sometimes, people go for parasailing, they go for trekking, so they also take the help of tented camps. Now, heritage hotels are basically the hotels, which are palaces that had been converted to hotels. And this heritage hotels are usually the hotels, means the palaces, forts which were built before 1950. That is the reason why they are known as the heritage hotels. For these heritage hotels, they are the high budget tourists interested in historical places dream of staying in the style as that of the Rajas means the kings. Okay, so government has taken an initiative. They have provided financial assistance to this fort. Who are the kings of this fort to convert their forts, partially they can stay and the rest partially it can be converted to hotels. So those are known as heritage properties. So like in India, we have this Lalgarh Palace, Rajasthan, usually they have like, actors, actress, film stars and influential people, they have their, they organize this big events like marriages and all this type of hotels. Then for example, there is the Niger Heritage Hotel, which is in Nigeria. Then we have the guest houses. These guest houses, tourists, they wanted to spend less, stay more time at the destination and wants to learn about the host culture. So they opt for the guest houses. Once they are in the guest houses, they spend more time outside the guest house. And these guest houses are basically run by the family members and are not professionally managed. So paying guest accommodation is gaining much popularity, and tourists are much interested in local etiquettes, household culture, and homemade foods. So they prefer to stay with local people on payment of an amount and accept services. And local population also earn without investing much and also learns about different cultures from guests staying with them. Alternative accommodation. This what you mean by alternative accommodation? These are small boarding houses or tourist camps, or they are the restrooms at the railways or dharmashala forms. They form the alternative accommodation. Now, as a tourist professional, you should always remember, keep in mind that tourists spend approximately 40% of his funds on room and board. As I told you, 40% of their they spend on traveling. Okay, that is on their transport, and the next 40% they spend it on room and board, and the next another 20% maybe on miscellaneous expenditure like buying handicrafts, handlooms, and so on. So, as a tourism professional, you must be aware of all the options available in a given destinations. And tourist needs about layout, design, and the meal plan must be taken into account. Professional must understand the potential customer and promote the correct category accordingly. Now, one thing like just I wanted to say, you know, so they must be they must be knowing about the meal plan. Meal plan is basically different there are different meal plans. You have the continental plan, you have the American plan, you have the modified American plan, you have the European plan. Continental plan, along with the room food is also being provided, and American plan is the plan where along with the room you have breakfast plus lunch plus dinner. Whereas for continental plan it is a room plus breakfast. For American plan it is room plus breakfast plus lunch plus dinner. For European plan it is only room. Whereas for modified American plan it is a room plus breakfast plus either a major meal. Where the major meals can be the lunch or dinner. Okay, so what happens? If you are a corporate guest, you usually take the CP plans. That is along with the room breakfast is also being served to you. Whereas for American plan, if you're in a group, you can you have the option for going for modified American plan. That is room plus breakfast plus either lunch or dinner. Usually, when you are in a group, you come to the hotel, stay in the hotel, you have your breakfast, then you go for sightseeing the daytime, and then you come back to the evening and you can have a dinner. So that is how it is being planned. One sec, 1 minute. Is it visible?
No, ma'am, it is not visible.
Uh, 1 minute, 1 sec, 1 minute. স্টুডেন্ট মানে কোর্টে গলে ঠিক আছে 1 minute. হুম হুম। না মোর এটা হয়নি উইন্ডো। Is it visible now?
No, it is
It is
not. No, it is.
visible.
Visible now. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, I don't know if I can ask a question or until you are
Hmm.
done.
Hmm. Tell me,
Okay,
you have
then
a
I,
question?
yes, yes, yes.
Tell me.
Okay, for all these expenses you had been mentioning that a tourist can, I can say, experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know to whom the tourist can pay all this sum of money. Is it the tourist agency or whatever? I don't know. That's why I said I should ask, at least ask.
I couldn't get the question exactly. Like, suppose you are a tourist and you wanted to go to a different country for visit. You can make the bookings to the travel agents, or you can make the bookings to the travel agents. And depending, suppose if you wanted to go to any resort area, you can book for the resort hotels. If you wanted to go for any commercial purpose or business purpose, you can go to any business class hotel. So it depends, like which what is your purpose and what is your location. So it depends on and as per your requirement, you can book the room. You can directly book the room, you can go through the travel agents also. But I couldn't exactly get the question. Can you just repeat it once again?
Yes, as you just made mention, I think it
Hmm.
seems like that you understand my question. But
Hmm.
like the mode of transport, for example, the rail or the I can say water or road.
Hmm.
So is it the travel agency that is going that I'm going to pay so that they can just share the I can say my expenses with the something like just I can say with the rail or road I can say transport mode or mode of transport. That's why I'm just
Hmm.
basically just asking to whom can I just directly pay my all the expenses that I am expecting I can pay
See,
them.
like, no, no, you wanted to know about the mode of transport, okay? Okay, exactly. I understood you're telling something about mode of transport, but what exactly you wanted to know about the mode of transport?
What I wanted to know about the mode of transport is that
Huh.
as you made mention, we use
Hmm.
made mode of transport like rail, road, air.
Yes, yes.
So there are some places that you made mention in India that a
Hmm.
person can be able to experience, you can explore.
Okay.
So
Okay. Hmm.
uh, the amount that I'm going to pay that mode of transport, like if I'm going to use the rail, I
Hmm.
know that I have to pay some amount of money.
Hmm.
So to whom can I pay the money to so that I can just use the mode of transport,
Oh,
either road
see,
or rail, to explore
no,
the
no.
city
See.
in
Now, yes, I understood your question. See, now you will be an international tourist, right? For you being an international tourist, you have to. It is you can always get the informations, you can explore from the websites and all. But if you ask me, I would suggest you that you should go according to the travel agent. You should go as per the travel agent. Okay, travel agent will guide you. That is what happens. Now, travel agent, like, suppose by road or rail, whatever you travel, they will tell you, and some amount you have to, for that there's a particular amount you have to pay to the travel agent. And the travel agent, makes the reservation. Process in the process, they make a commission out of that also. Suppose they wanted to make, suppose online travel agents, okay, they will make a booking through online travel agents. You take the example of trip advisor. You can directly make a booking to the trip advisor, because but you have to do a lot of exploration, like where you wanted to go, how you wanted to go. So you have to make a lot of exploration. You have to go through the trip advisor, and you have to make the payment. Then the trip advisor, if it is a road, or whether it is a railway, or whether it is a flight airlines, suppose they take 20% and the 80% goes to the airlines, or 80% goes to the roadways, by car or by cruise or whatever. So I think I was able to answer your question.
Yes, of course, ma'am, I understand.
You understood, no?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so these are the principal considerations. Accommodation is a very complex affair. Professional must be aware of, promoting tourist accommodation. There's a leisure activity, host guests as cultures, ecological environment considerations. Running of a hotel or resort need a comprehensive understanding, as it is a very specialized one, right? Um, Now, whatever I was telling you, you have to do the marketing. Okay, so depending on the tourist behavior, that is the consumer behavior and the needs, the tourist accommodation, sometimes marketing is very essential. As I told you initially, there are different types of rooms. What are the different types of rooms are there? Because I need to know whether you are a wildlife journalist or wildlife photographer. So you will be going to a many wildlife destinations. For that, you won't be staying in a five-star hotel. You have to stay in the cottages. in those properties. So that is what is being taken care of. So you have to do a lot of marketing. You should come with lot of ideas. You have to explore those, and accommodation must be promoted ecologically as well as environmental sound, because it's not that you just built a heritage hotel or you built a eco hotel near a eco tourist destination, but it spoils the image of that particular area. So you have to be very ecologically and environmentally sound. Okay, you have to ensure that the natural beauty of that particular place is not being destroyed. Care must be adopted to ensure precautions and to minimize social and ecological damages by the tourist activities. Further considerations, you have to take care of there are like food and beverage, there are restaurants and all, coffee shops which serves food 24 hours. Usually the restaurants, they serve only specialized dishes, and there is a timing. They may be multi-cuisine restaurant, they may be Chinese restaurant, they may be Mexican restaurant, but coffee shops are the one which is open 24 hours a day. So there are coffee shops, there are restaurants, there are pubs, there are so this take care of the food and beverage, especially the food and beverage department is the one which takes care of all this. Then there are some activities also, like you can go to a health club, you can do some exercises, you can go for spa, you can go for sauna bath and all. So these are activities are also there in the hotel taking place. Then the housekeeping, the room where you stay, that has to be designed. There are different types of rooms. There are like standard rooms, there are deluxe rooms, there are suite rooms. Suite rooms are usually well designed, and they are very spacious. So the profession must adopt hard and fast rule, which is flexibility is the motto of good result. Now, who uses tourist accommodation? Now, different kind of tourists need various services. So identifying the various categories of tourists uses tourist accommodation are the FITs and the GITs. What are FITs? FITs are basically the frequent individual traveler. Okay. Now, suppose if you are working for a corporate, if you are a corporate guest, then when if you are a frequent individual traveler, then you should make your own itineraries with the help of tour operators or agents. Then you need to have a very personalized treatment services required, which are very demanding, and it involves more cost of changes, and it involves lot of it's quite expensive, and changes are required. Okay. Now the group inclusive traveler, they often purchases tour packages, and the number varies from 10 to 100, and there are service required, depends upon the number of visitors, destinations and products. If I say you what is the destination, if I say you what does the products mean, the products can be the rooms, the products can be the food, the beverages. Then you go to visit different destinations, those are the products. Now you need to have some informations, how to get the information. So informations, yesterday I was telling you that you can obtain the information from FHRI, that's the Federation of Hotel and Restaurant of Association of India. That is where you get all the hoteliers, the restaurant owners, they can become members, and every year they meet, they have a meeting, they discuss about policies that has to be framed. So that is what FHRI members are. So you can get all the members. Suppose if you want to visit any hotel in or which season, which month to visit, what are the seasonal times, what type of facilities they are providing, you can go through this FHRI. They have a FHRI website. Then there are, of course, you can also collect information from the newspapers, magazines. Then also hotels carry their promotional campaigns. There are different websites are there, social media handles are there. Then online travel agents are there. Online travel agents are those, as I told you, like TripAdvisor, MakeMyTrip.com. These are. So advance booking of accommodation is always best, and tourists must be instructed to do so. Okay, just a minute. So before this was, finishing of the
What is
night,
happening to the video?
wait, sorry, can you just tell me? 1 minute. I just this is the yes. Um, you wanted to tell me something? This is we have completed the unit 9. You have any questions on unit 9? Is it visible? हाँ informal services in tourism, there are dimensions of informal sector. So this is the difference between formal and informal sector. There is a formal as well as the informal. Now, we should, formal is basically make use of modern, often imported technology. Whereas informal are the ones who are, they are less mechanized, and they usually, single people or maybe a group people, they are handling all these activities. Whereas for a formal, fixed capital is usually high, and whereas for an informal, the fixed capital is low. And for formal, you have a structured workforce, whereas for informal, you have very unstructured workforce. Now, what are the types of activities in informal sectors of tourism? Usually, self-employed guides. Then there are the people who are selling, all these artifacts like your, all these souvenirs, then your crafts, handicrafts, handlooms, and so on. So the guest house owner is there also, like, informal. So small self-employed entrepreneurs are used by tourist agencies such as guides, drivers, etc. Okay, just give me a 2 minutes break. I'll just come back. I'll just have a water and I'll just come back.
Okay, ma, no problem.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible. But ma'am, I don't know
Okay.
if I can make another. I could ask another question.
Yes, yes,
Sorry
please,
to.
please. No, no, you please ask questions. You are most.
Okay.
Uh,
Is there a limit to a tourist guide, or I can say tourist professional, a limit
hmm.
of travelers he can look after?
See, one thing I just wanted to say. Suppose, I'm talking about formal and informal. Suppose tomorrow you single-handedly have your be a travel agent or be a tour guide. So, then it will be considered as informal because you don't have an unstructured workforce. Okay, and of course your capital invested will also be very low. But when you start because this is just I wanted to tell you, if you wanted to start a job or something, you should work with some, some groups or agents, some organizations. Then you have some, you get some experience and all. then you can just start your I mean single-handedly you can start. So that is the reason. If like there are two sectors, one is the formal sector and another is the informal sector. So the type of activities in informal sectors of tourism, they are the self-employed guides. So you can be self-employed, but that would be considered as informal. And this, I mean, this is what happens. And I think that was a question you had in your mind, or like, was I able to answer? Like, mm, can you just, was this your
Okay,
question? Uh,
my question here is that as a tourist guide,
mm-hmm.
is there a limitation to a number of travelers a tourist guide can look after?
I mean, your tourist guide can look after what?
A travelers,
Mm-hmm.
travelers, yeah. Is there a limitation? A number of tourist
No, no, no.
travelers, I mean.
No, no, no. How can it be? If that is, I mean, your business. You can guide 100 tourists. You can guide 200 tourists. You can guide two tourists also. It depends on you. It is a business. That is what I'm telling you. Suppose today you become a tour guide, and initially for you to participate, it would be very difficult. But later on, you have to. You initially you cannot be a tour guide. You have to have contacts, you should know the market. So that is very difficult. So what you do, you have to join some agency, you have to collect information, you have to get experience, and once you get the experience, you then run your own organization. Okay, so that is, and there is no such limitations. You can run hard. It depends on the business. If I have a good contacts with people, then I can guide 100 tourists in a month. And if I don't have contacts, I may just only guide 5 tourists in a month. So it depends on. Okay, there is there is no limitation. That is
Okay.
how you increase your business.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
So then there is, see, this is what happens. You can independently work. Okay, that is what happens. Now, nature of informal structure. Informal sector operate without legal recognition and are neither registered nor officially tagged. So, data that is available, it plays a vital role in deciding formal and informal sector based on the data collected by the Central Statistical Organization. There is organization which is known as the Central Statistical Organization, that is under the Ministry of Planning and the Government of India. And usually they collect all the data, and as per the data they get all the informations, which is a formal sector, which is an informal sector, because the formal sector, they are always registered, taxes, all these are concerned. But usually informal sector, they are not if you work with a if you're an informal, if you're a formal, if you're with an organization, you have to pay taxes. But if you're an informal, you are running your own business, you may not pay tax. You have the obligation to pay tax, but you may not earning that much. So understood, this is a different. So like that was the now data. Obviously, the data plays a vital role in deciding the formal and informal sector. Provide lodging services. Lodgings can be with meals, without meals, prepared foods and refreshments, like all this, and like drinking or eating or drinking services such as prepared meals, food and refreshments. You can have restaurants, you have cafeterias, you can have snack bars, ice cream outlets, and so on. Now, these enterprises are further divided into three types. One is the own account enterprises, the directory establishments, and the non-directory establishments. Now, what are own account enterprises? Own account enterprises are those operating without the help of any hired worker. As if you want to become a travel agent, I mean, if you want a tour guide, so you are operating without the help of any hired worker. Okay, you can be, so that's an own account enterprise. Enterprise is basically an organization, a business you run. What is D? D is directory establishment. When an organization have more than 6 workers, including the household and the hired person, then it is been considered as direct establishment. And what is non-direct establishment? That is having less than 6 workers, including both household and hired. So out of these three, own account enterprises and non-direct establishments, they are the informal sector. And 88% of the
Ma, the
total
video is shaking. The video is shaking.
video is shaking. Is it okay?
Yes.
Is it okay now? So
Yeah,
88%
it's
of
now
the
okay.
okay, it was shaking. I don't know. Okay.
But
So
now it's just a network problem now.
what problem?
I think it is a network problem issue.
Okay, then it was the network issues. Is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Acha. So 88% of the total established in the hotel and restaurant sector in the Indian economy belongs to the informal sector. So informal sector is predominantly in the restaurant business and marginally in the hotel business. Now you say suppose you wanted to have a tea shop, everybody wants, so you can open a tea shop. That is a very informal sector. But yes, tomorrow if you wanted to work in a restaurant, which is a formal sector. Why formal sector? Because you are under, if you work for a restaurant, you may be under the pay scale of those people, okay, of that organization. So these are the three enterprises. One is own account enterprises, what is direct establishments, and the non-direct establishments. So own account enterprises and the non-direct establishments, these two are basically come under informal, and direct establishment comes under formal sector. Clear? Okay. Is it clear to all of you?
It is, it's clear, man.
Okay. Please respond, sir. Okay. Then you have the productive capital, emoluments, and profits. Productive capital is the sum of the values of fixed assets and working capital. And fixed assets mean, machineries, buildings, refrigerators, then equipments, furnitures, fixtures, transport equipment. They are considered as fixed assets. Working capital, the capital involved in stock of foods, rings, crockery, linen, net amount receivables, these are all. So informal sector enterprises have a low productive capital, and differential profitability between formal and informal sectors is associated with profit per enterprise, which is seen to rise with the amount of productive capital, and formal sector has a high productive capital. Yeah, you please, some noise is coming at the background. You can unmute, I mean, mute yourself. Okay. Uh, so the productivity of labor is much higher in the formal sector, and capital labor ratio is higher in the formal sector, making it more capital intensive than the informal sector. So cultural division of labor is found in informal sectors. Low status jobs are done by those who are termed as socially inferior. Sometimes what happens, you are not educated. So what you do? You just work as a, suppose you are not educated, you are not being skilled in that particular area. So you just do some cleaning jobs in a restaurant because you don't have the minimum qualification. So that makes you socially inferior. Even going to a restaurant is difficult. Sometimes you may just walk in a nearby tea shop or a coffee shop. That is termed as socially inferior. So this informal sector has been divided into self-contained segments of non-competing group of workers. Clear? Then comes souvenir sellers in open air stalls. What is a souvenir? Souvenir is basically an item. Acha, can you, I think background noise is coming. One of you can just mute yourself. I don't, now it is, wait, let me check. Caesar,
Bashir,
no, who is,
Bashir, can you
Caesar.
please mute your mic, please?
Yes, now
Okay.
it is okay.
Bashir,
Ah, okay.
Okay, 1 minute, let me. Is it visible? Visible?
Yes, it is visible. It is visible.
Okay, okay. So, souvenir sellers in open air stalls. What is a souvenir? Souvenir is basically an item which is bought or taken by tourists during visits to different places in order to remember the place. That is what a souvenir is. So, souvenir business people determine the preferences and demands of the market, control the quality of the products, and provide prototypes of objects to be copied by the local artisans. Suppose if you have your, you're going to a place and you have some handicrafts, handlooms of that particular place. So you wanted to buy it and you have to, so usually the tourists buy those so that they can keep it as a remembrance of that place and they can show it to their friends, relatives in their peer group. Now, there a question comes, what is commercialization? When we talk about commercialization, it is basically, it is like, if you wanted to introduce a new product into business and it should be available in the market. So, why commercialization comes here? Because we are talking about souvenir sellers in open air store. So this the process of ethnic arts is in the, I mean, they are being sold in the market. So one is like spontaneous, another is sponsored. Now, three people are involved here. One is the producer, that is the local artisans. They are the one who produces that product. Second one is the middleman, that is the entrepreneurs, and the third one is the consumers. Consumers means you and me, who are the tourists who buy those products. When it is a question of spontaneous, when a tourist goes to the particular a particular destination, he buys the product of that particular area. So those products are modified as per the test of the outside demand of the tourist. So the producers directly sell the products to the consumers, that is the tourist. Whereas in case of sponsored, that the middleman is involved. Who is the middleman? That is the entrepreneur. For example, suppose Kabiru is an entrepreneur. Okay, he has a shop, souvenir shop. So what he does, he goes to the local market. That is the producers. He purchases those souvenirs or handicrafts or the craft products, from the producers. He purchases at a very minimum price. Then he comes to his shop and then he sells it to the consumers. Who are the consumers? Tourists. And he sells at a very high price. So what happened? Sometimes this is how the tourism. The negative impact. The tourism has a negative impact on the local community because the local community, they wanted what tourism exactly. Their objective is to generate employment, generate revenue for the country, social exchange of culture, and so these are the things. When they are not being properly employed, they are not being paid for the activities or the social work they do or the crafts they create. If they are not unable to get the proper value of that, then the particular the tourism, I mean, it has a negative impact on the that particular area. So sometimes what happens, this entrepreneurs makes a lot of money. They cheat the consumers on one side and they cheat the producers also because they buy the product at a very low price, 10 rupees, okay, and they sell it to the consumers, that is the tourists, at the rupees 40. So what is that? Local technical skills are usually used by the outside entrepreneur. Now the entrepreneur knows the technical skills of the localized of the local craftsman. They they try to extract the local products and they sell it to the market. Okay, so this is what is commercialization is basically. So just I gave you an example like what is spontaneous and what is sponsored. What is induced? This is only induced commercialization. The tourist host interaction. Here, the tourist is the host is basically the one who the localites. You can say the local community. They are the host. Okay, so the tourist host interaction may end in emergence of completely novel crafts unrelated to culture, but are produced to cater the demand of the tourist market. So tourists search for a one kind of, usually if you are a tourist, you would like to collect some craft items that must be something different, something unique, and it would be something exotic. So the tourists look for those types of items that are produced with indigenous materials by the skilled artisans. They use the souvenir is, sometimes the souvenir is not important, but the design and crafting of that product that give its value. I know in today's, I can get a product from nowadays, online shoppings are there. I can get something at aircraft which is very very popular in Nigeria. Okay, I wanted to buy that product, I can just go to the website like Amazon, Flipkart, and get it purchased. But when I visit Nigeria, I wanted to visit from that particular town only, particular city, because that gives a different value. So this is what is important. Okay, and that is how the tourism. I will say, I had been to Nigeria. I had purchased this, and it was very beautiful. People are so hospitable. People are so courteous. This is how we have to, how the tourism has to be grown, and it has to be reflected on the global map. But commercialization, what we do, we just buy it from the online shopping and all, at a very higher rate, and then we keep on, this is we got from online. Everybody wants to, but everybody should go to the proper tourist destination, buy the product, feel the experience of the local community. That is how tourism is all about. That is what the tourism phenomenon is all about. And sometimes there are problems in the quality control, that quality and valuation of the goods is not standardized. They are not up to the mark. Tourists are not aware of the quality, and of course the producers take advantage of this. It is not that only the producers. Sometimes the producers cheat the consumers, and because tourists are not aware. Suppose you are a tourist and there are different shops selling the same product, same crafts. One is selling at $10 US, someone is selling at $12 US, somebody is selling at $15 US. So what is that? The foreign national, he'll buy one product and the people cheated us. So this is all negative impact. So tourists are usually not aware of the quality, they are not aware of the price, and the producers take advantage of this. So buyers distinguish quality based on the price. And as I told you, multiple prices exist, as sellers are more aware of the products than the buyers. So they keep on, if you can see, even I'm just telling you, even if you buy the same product, you go to different websites, you will find different prices. Everybody is in the verge of cheating. We'll earn something extra, So it's like this. So these all, this is all word of mouth. It has a very negative impact on the tourism sector and all. So we should ensure, like, if you want to be a professional tourism professional, you should ensure that it does not happen. I know it is very difficult, but yes, you can always, address those issues which can be handled at your side, from your side. Then comes the street guides, what are the roles and functions of the street guides. Tourists at destinations, they want to take
Question
accommodation at
before you go.
convenient. Sorry,
I say a question before you go about
1 minute,
Sardinia.
one
You
second.
talked. I say you talked
Yes,
about
yes.
Sardinia. Sardinia.
Mm-hmm.
Sardinia
Souvenirs,
is
yes.
this. Yeah, Sardinia is this images that an agent or tourist boat depicts in the shop, or is a kind of images designed for some people,
Mm.
that he
Mm.
can use to guide him wherever he wants to go or whatever. What do you mean by that?
No, no. I mean, yes. No, no. What you are telling, what is a souvenir? It is basically what you are asking. That is a booklet or a brochure. You can have a
Oh,
brochure of
brochure.
that particular. Okay, that is a brochure. If you wanted to know
Okay.
some information of that particular place, then that is the brochure where you get all the information. And souvenir is basically a piece of art, or a piece of art. It is an art piece, or it is a craft or something. You can just, it's a gift. Suppose I can get the brochure where all the, suppose you go and visit a monument, you wanted to know something about that. So that is a brochure where all the informations about that monument is been there. But suppose if you want a miniature of that brochure, miniature of that monument, suppose if you go to Taj Mahal, you have a miniature, you can have marble Taj Mahal, like small miniature ones. It is an art piece. So those are known as souvenirs. Got it? I think I have some photos. Wait, I'll show you. See, these are all,
Okay, okay.
handicrafts, and that is the reason I have tried to put some photos so that you have an idea. I'll just show you. It is there once before. Wait, see. Can you see? This is a
Yes,
souvenir. Okay.
by the act of
Uh,
showing us particular photos, will be more understandable.
Yes, yes,
Topic.
of course. That very good. That is the reason I wanted to show you those. It should be something pictorial so that you can have an idea. So this is what is a souvenir all about. Okay. Yes. Now, as I told you, this is also an example of the souvenir. Now, come to this street guides. They are also known as stouts. And what are the street guides? Now, see, of course, the number of street guides are reducing, but then still people look for it. Okay. Sometimes nowadays, whenever we visit a destination or somewhere, we try to explore about the information. We try to ensure that everything is, the area we are, the place we are going to visit, how is it, what is the weather, what are the nearby gift shops, where are the restaurants and all, how to, these are my, favorite places where I should visit. So you get all the information from the net, you explore and get it. But still, then sometimes it happens. What happens? You go to a destination and you find there, tourists are there. They might be visiting that place, and you will find all the street guys. They are just roaming around. Why they are roaming around? They want to capture the tourists. Now they basically there for around they keep on trying to misguide the tourists. They'll say, why don't you purchase? You wanted to stay in a hotel? They say yes. So what is your what is the budget you are looking for? Suppose you don't know, my budget is so. Okay, we will put you in this hotel, because in between they have a commission with these types of hotels and all. So but we should always be try to uh, ensure that this type of misguidance should not take place, because as Indians, or if in your country it happens, you are aware of. But when I visit a country, to an international destination I visit, and I have to experience them, then it creates a very bad negative image of that particular destination. So, what is this basically this street guides? What they do, they will give you all informations. That time your network will not be working, so you are unable to find, you are unable to explore. So obviously, we'll take care of the street guides. I want to go to a restaurant, or I want to go to a hotel. They will provide you all the informations, but in lieu of that, they will take a price. So who are the street guides? They are basically, in the tourist destinations, they want an accommodation at a convenient price, wanting to know about the quality as well as the availability, because different people, like usually corporates and all, their bookings are done by travel agents or through the company's website and all. But suppose if you are a solo traveler and you are a youngsters, maybe in the age group of 20 to 25, so you don't have that much money to spend or something. So obviously you look for a budget class hotel. As I told you, there are five-star hotels, there are four-star hotels, there are resort hotels, there are budget class hotels. So you will look for budget class hotels. So what you do, you may not have done that much searching and all in the web. You just reach, friends, like you just reach the place, and then you find, let's have a look, and you come in contact with the street guide. The street guide will find your requirement. Then he will try to sell you some rooms. But in lieu of that, he would take a price for that. Now, these street guides provide social resources that are required by the tourist for a price. So whatever your requirement is, they will give you the guidance, but at a price, no free of cost. So this selling cost can be factored into three compartments. Setup costs per period, that is the cost involvement is less. Fixed cost per tourist, that is cost of negotiation, bargaining, catching up tourists. Now these are the people who also negotiate with you, bargain with you. You don't know, I want a room of either 500 euro, suppose 50 US dollars. No, no, we don't have a 50 US dollars. You have to go for 60 US dollars. So they keep on bargaining, and you have to negotiate once they catch a tourist. Then there's the variable selling cost. It increases information. Once they give you more information, they will charge you more. So this is what happens. So as search costs spread over a large number of tourists, such services cost little for tourists than searching by himself. So instead of depending on this, why should you not be, as a tourism profession, why should you not be acquainted with all the information before you reach a place? And you even, sometimes there are many like our government, our country has taken many such initiatives. That initiatives have been taken by this tourism institutes. We have different tourism institutes, hotel management colleges, who train the street guides so that they don't capture this tourists and give them false promises or cheat them and all. So they are being trained how to handle a guest, how to go about, how to make a booking and all. So this, as I told you, we all over here we need to educate ourselves. We need to skill ourselves. Every day new technology is coming up. So we have to adapt to the society. We have to adapt to the climatic conditions of a place. So, and we also at the same time we have to ensure that we all lead a peaceful life. And when we, some like street guides and all, they try to cheat the customers, they try to cheat the tourists. So what happens, it gives a very wrong impression of that particular place. So that is, why I have to, I mean, why this unit is a part of, I mean, this you can say subtopic is a part of this unit, because we were talking about this informal and, yeah, formal and informal sectors. So
One
what
more
I
question. Question.
sure, sure, please.
Okay, okay. About street guide, if I understood right, uh, street guide, they are people who were assigned or they work manually to, support the travel tourist when he reaches destination, for whatever he will do in the certain destination he reached, or is a paper or pressure will guide him to whatever he wants before he come back to his accommodation. Do you understand the question?
No, can you just repeat once again?
I say, street guide. Are they
Street guides,
are
yes.
they, are there people which their work guides the travelers or tourists when he reaches destination or
No, no.
whatever he?
No, see, listen, I understood. I think I understood your question. No,
Okay.
these street guides do not belong to the formal sector of tourism. They belong to the informal sector of tourism. They are not being trained. That is the reason I told you sometimes they want to cheat the persons. So what happened, like our country, our government has taken many initiatives to kill this street guys. Now who are taking them training? Like there are people like who are teaching faculties in there are different types of projects are there. They are trying to teach these street guides. They are trying to teach all those drivers, how to drive, how to interact with the customers, with the tourists. Means drivers in the sense those who are driving tourist buses or driving tourist cars. I can drive my own car, but I am not the one who needs to. But if you tomorrow you become a driver of a tourist vehicle, okay, a bus, tourist Volvo bus. So you should know
Official.
how to, yes, you should know how to interact with the guests. That is what is important.
Okay.
Got the point. So this see, everything has to be channelized. Now you tell me, why are you studying tourism? You tomorrow, you maybe you wanted to guide someone. You just, this is just an ABC. Okay, tomorrow, so to become a to be into the tourism sector, I should be associated with all those different organizations and all. I should come to know more. I should attend some seminars, some workshops. There are webinars that is being taking places where you need to skill yourself, and to skill yourself, you should work with some organizations. So that is what is necessary. Understood? Was I able to answer your question?
Yes, understood, ma. Go ahead. Thank
Hmm.
you very much.
Okay. So anyway, as I told you, these are the negative impacts of street guide. Okay, so services promised and not offered as guest house owners, because now coming now, as I told you, suppose you are a street guide, and a tourist comes to you and they wanted to stay in a guest house. So at the same time, a guest house owner, he cannot go to any tourist and say, Ki, you can stay at our accommodation, we have a guest house and all. But they have to take the help of the street guides. So the street guides, they are the middleman basically. So they come in contact with the tourist, and they said, okay, at this so much dollar, we will offer you the guest house. After some negotiation, bargaining, you just take care of the guest house. You are go to the guest house. But what happens when the tourist reaches the guest house? He sees that that is not up to the mark that is being promised to the tourist. So what happens? The guest house has owner has to pay the touts. Yeah, touts here means street guys, because through him he is the one who is taking the commission. So he has to pay the tout some commission. But when the tourist reaches the guest house, he finds out that what is being told, or what was being now told, what was being promised by the street guide, and that which was being offered at the guest house doesn't match. Okay, inferior quality. So it affects the income of the guest house owners. Next time, when that tourist goes to his country, it will don't stay at this guest house because the quality was not there. And of course, there is flow. It also depends upon the flow of tourists. Sometimes there is peak seasons. Sometimes there is lean seasons. Peak seasons means when the business is very high. There is a lean season when the business is very low. Now there are two dimensions I told you. One is the demand and the demand and the supply. These are two dimensions of yield management: demand and supply. When there is demand, so you just go and take the room, because there is demand. That is the winter season and tourists are visiting. But when there is no demand, the guest house owners are also very ready to give away at a throwaway prices. But on the other side, they has to ensure that the customers are satisfied, the tourists are satisfied. And all this depends, there are many factors. One factor is the nature of tourism business. Suppose if you go to a eco tourist place destination, and you won't find a star category hotel over there, you'll find a guest house. But when you find out the guest house, you have to see that the guest house owners, I mean, the guest house may not be having the maximum facilities, but the minimum facilities are provided. Okay, so this minimum facility has to satisfy the tourists. So that is what is very important. And this street guides, because they are very commercialized. So sometimes, once they get, yeah, it is also known as commission, or it is known as incentive. So what happened, they have to ensure ki I get, I should earn more profit. So once this happens, the guest house owners, they also, they are sometimes not happy the services, because the services promised are not offered, as the guest house owners has to pay the touts, which also affect the income of the guest house owners. and prolonged squeeze in profit margin make them to exit from those businesses, so they sacrifice quality to continue the business. See, there are two things. One is the quality, another is the quantity. Okay, so we at the tourist, when we as a tourist profession, we have to ensure the quality is being provided, proper quality is being provided. So that has to be there. Okay. Now there are some mechanisms how you can regulate street guides. You have to ensure there should be intervention by government. That what I was telling you. Why there is an intervention of government? Because there are many people due to unemployment, they have to, for survival, they have to take this type of jobs in the sector, which is not uniform sector. They have to take jobs in this type of sectors. So what the government has to, the government, maximum revenue is being generated from the tourism sector. So why not they do some, take some initiatives to teach this street guides, or provide them with some technical support, provide them with some skills. So that is the intervention by the government is required. Then I told you, for the guides they also need some license. It's not like that you have done something, or you just, to for employment you just join a street guide. There is license that has to be procured from the particular headquarters, I mean particular districts or particular state. That license has to be provided. And you should increase the number of service providers. They are known as the capacity builders. Nowadays, in every ecotourist, this is a very, I can give you a good example of the ecotourist destinations. There are many ecotourist destinations in a country, and especially the foreigners, they wanted to enjoy that ecotourist destinations, because they get a experience of the nature, the flora, the fauna, the beauty of the particular place. But when they visit, there are no proper guest houses. If guest houses are there, they are not aware of the safety. They are not aware of the security. They are not aware of the comfortability of the guests, because these are very much required. So the service providers, what the service providers has to do, they have to teach them. That is, they have to skill them. Today's manpower workforce, maximum workforce lies in the skill sector. If you have the skill, if you can talk, if you can train, you can survive. I mean the country looks for skilled personnel. Okay. So what you do, suppose if you have worked in the travel agent company, you can run your own business, or you can go to any eco-tourist destination. You can just sensitize the localites, local communities. So once they are being sensitized, it also helps them to make them more empowered financially, and how to interact with the tourist, and ensures that they don't cheat the guest, but at the same time they are also able to make revenue from that particular business. That is what the country looks for. So you have to increase the number of service providers. Okay. And as I told you, limiting the licenses and condition for renewal. Even if you have a license, that is being valid for a particular period and all, you have to ensure that, this license period is there. They have to renew all those, so that has to be ensured. Okay. So limiting the licenses period and condition for renewal, you have to, these are some few mechanisms where you can address the situations to regulate the street guides. So why all this is important? Because as a tourist professional, it is important for you to understand all these dimensions of the informal sector in the context of tourism sector as a whole. Clear of all this? Now we went through this. These are the points to remember. Today I'll share this PPT with you, because so far, on first day I have covered 1 and 2 units. Second day I have covered 3, 4, 5. and third and fourth day I have covered 6, 7, 8, I think 9. I think this was a 9 or 10th unit. Okay, so I will send you the PPT, no issue. So you should, these are the few points that you should remember. What are the modes of transport and its importance? See, this is a picture I have shown you. These are, suppose this is a auto driver, or a tourist vehicle driver. So this people has to be sensitized. It is not that they are just a minimum qualification they have. They then take some they purchase a vehicle taking a loan from the bank, and they start their business. So these all belongs to informal sector. When the tourism is growing at such a demand is there, then why don't you make you have to sensitize these people. You have to you have to skill them so that they can be they can be more efficient. That is what is required. Okay. So I've just shown you some pictures and all. So modes of transport and its importance, which you want to know, which you want to remember. What is the role of transport in tourism sector? It, as I've shown you, it really has and most of the tourists who are visiting, 40% of their, they spend it on the travel mode of travel, and the rest 40% and 20%, the 40% is on food and accommodation, and another 20% is on like miscellaneous charges and all, like activities concerned, or you purchase some souvenirs, gifts and all. And what are the different types of accommodation? That is very essential. And formal and informal sectors in tourism. Now types of accommodation is also a huge area. Today's you have, I told you, you have business class hotels. You stay in business class hotel for business purposes. Then there are flotels are there, hotels. These are motels. See, this is a heritage property. I've shown an example of the heritage property. This is, this is a fort. The fort has been, earlier this kings used to stay in these forts, but now, maintaining has become a, it's become very difficult for maintaining those, So what happened? The government has come into picture, and they said, partially you can, yeah, I mean, it can be your resident, and the rest 70% you sell it to us, or we will give some percentage of profit to you, because people of not only our country, but international tourists, they wanted to feel how these forts are located. See, at one side you'll see it is like these are all palaces. At one side there are mountains, and there are lagoon water bodies are there. So they wanted to get the experience of all this. So this is what once you are into tourism, you should know which sector attracts you the most. You have to do a little bit study on that. You have to do some exploration, and this is what I wanted to tell. So this is, I think, hope you understood.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Mhm. Okay. Tell me if you have any questions, or mm,
Hello.
yes, tell me. I'll
Okay,
just show the
about
slide once again. Hmm.
okay, formal and informal. I need more explanation about it. It's government and non-governmental or what? Because I haven't attended the class on time. That's why I didn't catch
No.
the slide pretty well.
This formal and informal.
Come again, say what?
Huh. Huh. See, I have seen this person, is selling fishes, okay, at the beaches. So this can be considered as an informal. He doesn't know the language. He's not properly dressed. He doesn't have the etiquettes, manners. So what you say, these are all informal. So you should train yourself. You should skill yourself. But who will train him? He can be skilled, provided he is being trained for that particular, his area, whether he's selling food, or whether he's selling artifacts, or whether he's selling any crafts. He should be aware of that. He should be sensitized, how to handle guests, how to talk to them. he can always go for a profit, but at the same time he should not cheat the customer. So there is a lot of sectors, informal sectors, which really needs to, the government is really taking an initiative how to skill those informal sector. Yes,
Okay.
because they are very unstructured workforce, and this unstructured workforce handles the job. Okay.
Understood.
And as I told you, tomorrow, that is the reason, first when you take up a job or something, you can just work with an organization, because you meet lot of people, you come to know lot of informations you get and all. So once you get all these informations, then you can start your own business. You become a self-employed guide. It can be an informal sector of tourism, but yes, it is properly channelized, but one, if you don't know, then how you can interact, how to interact with the normal, why you educate yourself? You have to acquire knowledge. You have to once you in the tourism, you have to acquire knowledge, not only knowing about the information of that particular place. You are able to guide the people, I mean guide the tourists coming to that area. You are able to sell the product. You have to sell the product. What is the product? That product can be a room, that product can be a food, that product can be your any mementos or any souvenirs of that particular area. But you have to ensure that you don't cheat the tourist, but at the same time you also earn a profit, because you have to earn a living. So as a tourist professional, you have to know all this. You should always uh, you should always know all this. Like, this is very important. You must be aware of all options available at given destinations. See, every budget, every there are there are elite class of people, but there are also guests who comes with a limited budget. And it depends on, if you're a corporate guest, you need not pay the booking, the hotel accommodation rates from the your from yourself. I mean, the company pays for you. Okay, the company sends you for business, for some official work and all. So the company pays for your accommodation, so you need not worry about that. But tomorrow, if you being a, if a young, a youngster, and you have very limited budget, and you are, maybe you are a solo, or solo tourist, I mean, and what you do. So you should, must be, there should be option, should be available. That means you can stay at a budget class hotel. That's option. If you obviously, if you stay in a star category hotel, food is available there, but those foods are very expensive. If you because you get all the facilities, you get the amenities, the restaurants are being designed in such a manner. But suppose if you want to go to a street food, you just take the example of street food. There is also the initiative taken by the government, where the street food hawkers, they should know the minimum requirements. The food they prepare, that may not be hygienic. Everybody wants safety, security, hygienic about that place. So they should know, like, hygienic methods of cooking that food, preparing the food. They should wear gloves, and they should prepare the food. So how to, service is also a skill. How you service, as I told you, there is something like food and beverage. Yeah, food and beverage. Students are being taught not only to prepare how to, not only being taught how to prepare food, but they are also being trained how the food is to be served, how the beverage is to be served. When there are so many different courses of menu, you have to have a starter, then the main course, followed by a dessert. So these, they are being taught. Every sector is different, and the sector you choose, you have to be skilled at that particular sector. Got my point? And of course, you have to market that product, because marketing is a very important skill. So you have to market the product. If you don't market, then you won't have business also. You start a small business. I am just telling you, suppose you belong to Nigeria. Okay, most of maximum of you are from Nigeria. So there are some tourist destinations, so you can have in your YouTube channel, these are the destinations when to visit, and what are the types of rooms available, what is the type of food that is being available. You can, the type of cuisine that is being served, which is the signature cuisine of that particular place. So you have to design. How would you design? You have to know the customers. How would you know the customers? You have to visit the places. Once you visit the places, you know what type of customers are, whether customers of your, whether tourist of your age or the tourist of my age. Okay? Or youngsters, there are mid-age people, then there are people for holiday coming with their family. So you have to know the needs, requirements, budget, the time of the year when the tourists visit. So taking into account all these dimensions, you have to design, and then you can sell the product. Slowly you'll be having queries, questions, then you'll come to know, you'll try to answer them. Slowly your business will grow. So once you start growing your business, if someone is happy, then there will be word of mouth positivity. Or if somebody is happy, he will revisit your destination, and your business will increase. You have to be commercialized because you have to earn money, but not at the sake of spoiling the destination. Once you spoiling the destination, you also spoil the image of the country. Okay. People are like the street hawkers, the street food hawkers, the street food hawkers. They have all these types of small plates, and tourists have their food, then they just throw it. There should be a proper garbage should be kept, dustbin should be kept. So these small tips, ideas has to be taught to them. They should be sensitized about this type of like what are the skills you require. So that has to be very strong. Then only a country can prosperous, because as I told you, countries which are the developing countries like Mauritius, Seychelles, they, most of their business depends on the tourism sector. If they are, why people are visiting Mauritius? Because they know, it is a very clean beach. But if tourists go there and spoil the beach of the beauty of the beach, there are some virgin beaches, if people visit there, don't maintain, it is the tourist, it is not only the local community, but it is also the tourist who has to be sensitized. There are signages, so the tourist will follow the signages. You visit a destination, but there is no signage. You go to the airport, if you don't find any signage, then whether you will take the flight, I mean, there are different gates, where the flights are coming. So which gate will you go for checking? So all signages are there at the airport. So similarly, those there are signages to be there at the tourist destinations, but you will find many signages are not there. Okay, some destinations are coming up, but you have to design, you have to market that product. That is also very important. How would you market the product? You have to include all this food and beverage. You have to include the activities that can be taken place. So these are few of the activities where the you have to take the initiative. Yes, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am. We're with you.
So what so accommodation is a very complex affair. So you
Of
need to
course.
promote, you need to promote the destination. That is very essential. See,
That's right.
what are the main points? It's a huge, like this tourist accommodation. What I teach, this is a. It takes me 8 days to teach, because we have to classify the customers. I mean the clientels. It depends on their duration of stay. It depends on the hotels location. It depends on their the purpose of visit. So you have to find out, you have to do a little bit of market research. You have to see the statistics, number of visitors or tourists, what is the footfall at that particular location. So that much study you have to do.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Yes, tell me. What questions if you have?
Have so I don't have much today.
Hmm.
All I have is from what we discussed today. I
Hmm.
just find some solutions to the
Hmm.
Nigeria's tourism sector
Hmm.
because, as I made mention yesterday, I
Hmm.
highlighted some problems that are hindering the improvement of Nigerian tourism sector. So, from what I learned today, I have just figured out some solutions to the problem.
One second.
Okay.
Survey studies had to be done, all those at the destinations, right? So, yeah, demographic variables are there like age, gender, education, then occupation, um, then the place of residence, then you have the personal habits, there are travel habits, nationality. See, it is very, you told about this tourism of Nigeria, okay. So, it is very essential you should find about the demographic variables. There are places, you know, what type of tourists are arriving there, what is their gender, what is their age, what is their educational qualifications, what is their occupation. Like, you suppose you are a student, so you would like to visit those other places. Now there are, tourists who will be going with their family to a level, and they'll be going to the beaches or something. Now suppose if you are a student of, suppose if you're a student of botany, you're a student of a science, so you wanted to go to some, forest areas where you wanted to know about the plants and all, about the trees, about the plants, about the flora, about the fauna of that particular area. So, it is very essential that you should identify that place. You should know that what is what who are the, main I mean who are the main, basically, tourists, what are their personal habits, travel habits, nationality. Then you'll come to know, you have to identify the place. Initially you have to do a lot of work. And yesterday, since you told that, these are the issues that is Nigeria is facing, that was really, there are places which are overcrowded. Why it is overcrowded? Then you should make some restrictions. Suppose, you go to a cinema hall, you have 100 seats, so you have, I can't sell 101 tickets. Every other day you will find news in our country and other countries, that some mishappenings taking places. Why the mishappenings taking places? There is a bridge covering a river, suddenly the bridge fell off, because that beach can accommodate only 100 tourists, and that very particular day, it was a festival day, it has accommodated 200 tourists, so obviously it will fell off. Now this is what happens, that is, that you have to study. So you should make a restriction. But you should know, it is not you and me. The government should take initiative. We have lot of, I mean, the ministries are working for that. There are a lot of tourism policy frameworks are being are being developed. Then some are being implemented. It is just that, we have to study ki what happened. These are the consequences which need to be taken care of. So there are a lot of issues which really need to be addressed, and I mean, the issues will be taking places. but you should know how to handle those issues. Once you go through this United Nations, World Tourism Organization site, you'll find many case studies are there. You should go through the case studies, how to handle. I mean, you have to do a little bit of reading. It's not only through websites or through journals. You should also go through some like case studies. You can find, because once you are into the case study, you should give a critical thinking. Got? So
Yes, I get it. The problem here in Nigeria is not about the policies or the research and monitoring, like identification of market, but the problem is the leaders.
the program is
So
to
leaders,
very good. Yes, that is lead.
that
That is, you should be trained. You should be skilled. Yes, that is why you have to be trained. That is why service providers are there. A
yes, of course.
university can be considered a service provider because he is educating the students. You
Mm,
don't know about my country, but I am trying to show you some videos. So
of
you
course.
come to know, these are the things. You might have read in newspapers, but now, okay, now next time you will. What I do whenever I see these videos which I wanted you all to go through, I just mention the YouTube sites. So once you can always see those YouTubes and you will have an idea. That would be very beneficial for you. You have a
The problem here is, provision of amenities is one of the key factors that improve the tourism sector. So
Mhm.
our main problem here is that after the improvement of the amenities or providing the amenities, meaning that development of basic infrastructures in Nigeria, such as good roads, clean water, electricity, and all. So the problem is that the amenities are not well looked after. That's the problem.
No, infrastructure has to be there because the population is increasing. So the infrastructure has to be there, and not only infrastructure, there should be like communication, networking. That has to be there. I mean,
Of
networking
course.
is also that is what is important.
And
You have a
also encouragement of domestic tourism. So Nigeria
yes,
should be encouraged to visit tourist sites within the nation instead of having to spend so much and invest in other foreign countries.
yes,
So
yes, very true.
of course,
Our
because Nigeria's this will reduce the millions of both naira and dollars spent on, I can say, foreign countries. It will also provide more employment opportunities in Nigeria.
very true, very true. See, because our the prime minister of a country always emphasizes that instead of visiting forest destinations, we should visit the destinations, domestic, destinations. There are
Of course,
beautiful destinations in our country. So then only we can. Why should we go to foreign destination? We will go, but first there are so many beautiful places, snow clad, so that we should visit. That is what is essential. That is what we should do. We should first promote our destination. Yes or no?
you see, yes, of course, that's right. But the
We should.
problem here is Nigeria. The problem here is Nigeria is insecurity. You
Insecurity
know,
is there already.
so
Right.
because Nigeria is having some issues on security, so you cannot be able to visit all the tourist sites.
Yes, yes. But what you said, I fully agree with you. First, you should promote our local destination. That is what is very important.
That's right.
Sometimes it has become a like prestige. It's you have to flaunt. Okay, I have visited this international tourist destinations. Sometimes
Mm.
I'll just tell you something. We have a destination like Jammu and Kashmir, and like Darjeeling. People spend a lot of money to visit those places, but going to Maldives, going to Singapore, those are I mean comparatively less, money. The fare is much less. So people visit those places comparatively less. So that is what happening. What sometimes you should look. I mean, there are a lot of things like we are not there. Who are the policymakers and all? So they need to look into this matters, and they should always try to ensure that our our people, our nationals should visit our destinations countries, then they should go and when they find something new in that destination, they should try to implement in our destination. Yes or no? Am I right?
Yes, of course, you're right, ma'am.
So,
Like in Nigeria, the medical sector, or can say the healthcare facilities, we have a poor care or healthcare system.
mhm,
So always, this wasn't by the practice of elites in Nigeria who travel abroad for medical attentions.
right,
So
right.
this gives
Mm,
the image of an unreliable healthcare system in the country.
mm. That
If
that that.
tourists,
Mm.
if tourists are not assured of good medical treatment, they will be discouraged from from traveling to Nigeria, of course.
Yes, medical tourism. I told you there are different types of tourism. Like medical tourism is also one of them. Tourists are going to different destinations. They are going for meditation or for taking some Ayurvedic treatment and all. So medical tourism is also flourishing. And in fact, as you told about the healthcare sector, it is very expensive in foreign destinations. Foreign countries, but of course in India it is comparatively cheap, but still then it is still expensive. So you have this different types of insurance. As I told you, when you travel to a country, you should have get all these medical insurance done and all. I mean, every country has its own rich cultural heritage. The thing is that you should promote that. Earlier we didn't have all these enclaves, or sorry, not conclaves and all. These conclaves or conferences are there, where other investors from different countries, they come to our country and they say, potential is there, manpower is there. So they think, no, this hotel can be set up in India, or this industry can be set up in India. So that image we have to create, that we should maintain a healthy relationship, that fraternity should be there. So we all should work together. It is not you as an individual and me as an individual. We should all work together. So we can always be proud national of that country. We can promote our country, we can build a healthy relationship. That is what we are looking forward to always. So our country is doing a lot, and this is this excuse me, this I mean we are this project, this is a type of project what we are doing. Similarly, our country has come up with lot of projects where we need to sensitize the all this informal sector of tourism, because once this informal sector of tourism is they are being educated, they are being skilled, then obviously our country will grow, and it would be on the global map. We think this
So,
country is a developing country. Why there is a, there are developed countries? India is also a developing country. Why can't we be like European countries and all? So we have to, I mean, strive a lot. Of course, that is what is essential.
Indian government is still trying now because
Yes, yes.
from what I have been seeing in the Indian films or some views that I used to just observe in YouTube or something like that. So I have seen a lot because the buildings, even in the field of engineering, in the field of medicine, I mean healthcare system, and even here in Nigeria, we are the I can say part of the retailers, or I can say the consumers that are consuming Indian, I can say medicines or something like that. Because whenever you buy a medicine from a medical store, you can see that the medicine was made from India. And even the I can say motor vehicles, some machineries we are using here in Nigeria are from India.
Okay, okay.
So
So it's
you
good.
see, India is moving for far ahead of a country like Nigeria.
No, no.
Of course,
Move it now. No, I think you'll also come up with some products. You'll be. I mean, there is always. Products, exchange of products. We have exchange of students also. So slowly by slowly, it will take time. We need to. And I was telling the maximum population of Nigeria is the all these who are the teenagers and all youngsters, and these youngsters have lot potential. That has to be taken care of. what exactly, like, what I feel, and I have done a little bit of studies and all, what I come to know. Because if you are able to sensitize, especially the I mean the age group people from in the from the teenagers as well, like till 20 to 30 ages. So if you can skill them properly, if you can sensitize them properly, then it would obviously lead to be a successful country, and the economy will also be growing, maybe slowly but steadily. That's what we always hope for. But yes, our country is doing a lot. Our
That's
prime
right.
minister is doing a lot for this.
So the disheartening thing here in Nigeria is the youngsters are always trying to leave the country. They are trying to depart the country because the country is doing
Mhm.
nothing with youngsters.
Yeah, that
So
is
that's
brain
why
drain. That
that's
is
it.
brain drain. Hmm. I
So
understand. I understand.
there are some numerous problems here that are making the
Hmm.
youngsters to be departing from the country. Some are flying to Dubai, India,
Indian lot of
Canada.
students are there. Yes,
Of course,
yes.
there are a lot of Nigerian students in India.
Yes, the university which I am associated with, there are 18, African countries. I mean, students from 18 African countries are studying here. I told you, only in hotel management and tourism it is not there, but you have in medical, paramedical, management,
Mm,
engineering, and they
of
are
course.
from Uganda, from Nigeria, from other places. I mean, so only in tourism we don't have. Hopefully next year
You
somebody
know, you
comes for
know,
tourism. Hmm.
the reason behind the student in Nigeria studying all these medical courses is that
Hmm.
when they return to Nigeria, they automatically get employed.
Yes, 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 yes.
So that's
True.
why they are going after all these kind of courses, engineering and medical fields.
Paramedical, yes, Phil, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Medical is because it is very demanding, no?
Yeah,
Medical,
of
it's
course.
very demanding.
Nigeria lacks all these kind of this thing, student
Hmm.
or something like employees, you can say, because we lack all these kind of medical doctors. Till now,
Hmm.
in this country,
Hmm.
whenever you are studying medicine, or I can say pharmacy and paramedical courses, you'll be given some stipends monthly, so that after
Hmm.
you are done, you'll be just serving the country for some years, even if you are trying to depart or something like that. Because now our doctors are always flying out the country.
Yes, yes, they are. I mean, all brain drain. That is what's happening, and
Yes, of course.
medical industries also. I don't know. I mean, see, those who are elite classes, they usually go to European countries, and the middle class, they are coming to India.
You
This
see,
is
so
what's.
that's the problem.
That is
So
what the study says.
that's right. That's right. So it is a disheartening thing. We're just trying to just you can just make a best out of yourself and see if you can just survive.
Yes, it is always survival, of existence. No, Darwin's on that. You have to. I mean, you really have to fight for whatever you need. You have to that you have to do. I mean, it's a difficult job, but yes, through exchange of ideas, through exchange of informations, we can acquire more knowledge. I don't know. Suppose the universities, but I can always tell this is a university. Did you know about IGNOU? IGNOU is People's University, but yes, there are other IGNOUs. Now not only in India, in different parts of the world, it's there. So slowly you have to build your image. You have to explore. You have to market the product. That is what is essential. You need to market,
Yes,
which is
yes.
that's we should really
So
work on that.
so for me here as well, I am always looking forward to see that I depart uh, to this from this country and see, or I can say explore some
Yes, yes.
countries like
Yes, yes. Mm.
India in
Mm.
particular. I would like to be in India one day because there are
Surely, you are
some
most
things.
welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Because there are some things I would like to explore there. Due to this, there was a time that you made mention of Kashmir, paradise on earth. I've been
Yes,
able to.
paradise on earth.
Yes,
Yes,
of course. I would like to
border
explore
of
that.
Pakistan.
Yes,
Border of Pakistan.
yes, of course. And also, I used to see that kind of beautiful places in Hyderabad and some places
Uh-huh.
in
Yes,
Delhi.
as
So,
well as Goa. Goa also.
go, of course, go, of course.
Beaches. Okay, you will like. I
Yes,
I
of
told
course.
Goa is also this is you should. experience all this. This is the Dull Lake. This is the houseboats. They are known as. Even their houseboats at Kerala. That is also a state in our
Kerala, of
country.
course.
Mm-hmm. So,
Thanks to Indian government for providing this kind of
yes, yes, yes,
this kind
yes.
of
Uh,
education.
yeah. I mean, I am also very thankful, when I'm interacting with you, it's more, word of mouth. You are just explaining me. I have seen videos. I have learned I mean, I read in newspapers, magazines, but today, I got this opportunity to interact with you. And what exactly is taking place is, these are the primary resources. As I told you, there are one is the secondary, all these books, magazines, journals I read. But today,
Mm.
I'm getting the informations from you. That is the primary resource. So
Yeah,
tomorrow
of
I
course.
can do a little bit of study also on that. Okay.
No problem, ma'am. You're always welcome.
So nice of you. So
Nice.
I hope I'm trying to whatever I'm trying to deliver, you could absorb those, and you have any questions and queries, you are most welcome. So that I'll try my best to explain.
No
Ensure
problem.
that you understand that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
So thank you.
Thank you.
One sec, 1 minute. One sec.
Okay.
So everybody, Basir, Hamza, Muhammad, Haruna, Kabiru. So everywhere there. And I hope you all enjoyed. And so tomorrow we'll be at the same time. So tomorrow I think we'll start
Yes,
11 to
we did.
13. Okay. One
Thank
sec,
you.
one
Thank
sec,
you.
Thank
huh?
you, man. Thank you
Just
very
a
much.
minute. It's so tomorrow. It's around, what is the time? Around uh, 2 or 12. Your time?
Now, yes, now it's 40 minutes past
Oh,
12.
40 minutes past 12. Okay, good, good. So you might be
Yes.
having your lunch. You
20
enjoy your
minutes
lunch.
one.
Yes.
Mm. What you do, you should know something maybe about the cuisine or something. I can share with you some days the cuisine of India. You can also share about the cuisine of okay. So that
Okay, we would love to see that as well.
mm. Okay. Have a good day. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you,
Mm.
man. See you
Have a
tomorrow.
nice night.
Thank you. Thank you, Vasir.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm, Yep. Huh? Oh, gosh. 47, 42, 14, 47, 42, 14, 47. Wannan email din a canza hanya akai. A'a. 42, 14, 47, 42, 11, 47. Canza email ɗin akai. Sai amfani da lambar waya.